What's up, everybody? So as you all know, 2011 was a huge year for video games. But now that's behind us, it's time to look to the future. And everybody, the future is bright. Because this year, 2012, is shaping up to be one of the best years in video game history. There's no denying that's going to be great. So I decided that because this is a year where gamers will be playing a lot of games, including myself, that I would put together my top 10 most anticipated games of the year. Oh yes, these are the games that I think should be rocking your PS3s, Xbox 360s, PCs, PlayStation Vitas, 3DSs, or Wii U's, or whatever. So, sit back and enjoy. Now please keep in mind though that this is my personal list, so if there's something that you're anticipating which isn't on the list, which there very well may be, then just keep in mind this is my list. So you have your own, I have mine. It's whatever. But so let's get right into this list. At number 10 we have Assassin's Creed 3. Well, now I've never been like the biggest I'm not really much of an Assassin's Creed fan. I find that the games, I do find that it is quite an overrated series. Like, you know, everyone knows, but they're still good games anyway, of course. But now the thing I've noticed is that I think that the games are becoming too similar, like with them releasing one every year. But I think it's really cool that with Assassin's Creed 3 they're mixing it all up, giving it a new setting in the Revolutionary War, which in my opinion I think it's a very cool, very interesting setting where a lot of games kind of stray away from that whole era. It's like very untouched on, and I think it'll be very interesting to have a game in this setting. And apparently it's going to be the biggest Assassin's Creed game yet, so that's also a good thing. At number 9 we have Transformers: Fall of Cybertron. Now I first heard about this game when I was watching the Spike Video Game Awards, and really I just was about to pass it by. It's just another licensed game. But by the time I saw the trailer, my mind was actually blown. This game looked really, really good. And it made me very excited to play it. I've never played Transformers: War for Cybertron, but I want to now, because its sequel is just, it looks great. Now I'm not sure what the game in the end is going to turn out like, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be something very enjoyable, especially if you're a Transformers fan, which I like Transformers, so yeah. And at number 8 we have Dead or Alive 5. Now this is a series that hasn't really been very relevant in this current console generation, but it's making a comeback, and I'm quite excited for it because last year I totally loved Dead or Alive Dimensions for the 3DS. I thought it was one of the best. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very good fighting game, and I think that in terms of just like the gameplay of the fighting itself, Dead or Alive is my new favorite fighter. So obviously I'm very excited for the next installment next year, coming to Xbox 360 and PS3 this time, which I think is cool because I think it'll be I think it's a very fitting platform for the Dead or Alive series. So yeah, and from the looks of it, this is also a series that's starting to evolve a bit, because from the looks of it, it's going to be they said it's going to be a bit more mature too and realistic, which I think is a very interesting thing, because I think it's important that game series continue to evolve, or else, you know, where would we be, right? If games didn't evolve, you see like the NES to now, have you ever seen a comparison to that? It's nuts. Anyway, so Dead or Alive 5, I'm sure it'll be a very good game. It's releasing in September this year, and I'm pretty excited for it. At number 7 we have Resident Evil 6. Now, again, Resident Evil is a series that's kind of changed. It's changed as of late. It's kind of strayed away from being survival horror and more become just like flat-out action games. Now, as a fan of action games, especially third-person shooters, I am quite excited. I personally think this will probably be one of the better action games of the year, and I'm excited to play it because what I've seen looks promising. So, yeah. And at number 6 I have Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. Now I really like how this game kind of mixes up the whole revenge story, because it's not just revenge, it's revenge with a vengeance. Anyway, okay. So Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance. This game would be higher on my list if it was like more of a like a real Metal Gear Solid game, like being like like created and stuff by Hideo Kojima and his team. But anyway, now although it probably will, for fans looking for a new Metal Gear game, it will probably disappoint. But as an action game in its own right, it does look very good, and it does take place in that Metal Gear universe, and it does have a good development team backing it. So the end product very likely will be really good. Although I am curious as to how it turns out, because this could be deciding the future of Metal Gear. And I hope it turns out right. I hope it turns out well. Although, right, I don't really know what to think of this game. Although Hideo Kojima has confirmed that Metal Gear Solid 5 will be coming, so people who are disappointed by this, at least there will be something in the future to look forward to. At number 5, I have The Last Guardian. Now, from what I've seen of this game, which very little has been shown despite its really, really long development cycle, I think it looks fantastic. Not just the visuals, but I think it looks like a very beautiful kind of nice, unique game, and that's becoming more uncommon in these current days of blockbusters. Now, this game, I do think it has taken a ridiculous amount of time to get out, and even though I never played I never actually played Shadow of the Colossus, bad me, but I actually have it downloading on my PS3 right now. But even though I haven't played Shadow of the Colossus yet, from what I've seen of The Last Guardian, I really want to play it. It looks like it could end up being one of the best games of the year, if it comes out this year, which I have a little bit of a fear that it won't. But nonetheless, it does look like a very beautiful game, and the guys at Team Ico, they know what they're doing, so I'm sure they will not disappoint. And at number 4, I have Virtue's Last Reward. Now, this is very likely a game that you've never heard of. You're probably thinking, why is this on this guy's Top 10 Video Games 2012 list? I've never even heard of this game. What's going on? No, you're probably not like that. That was... Anyway. Okay, so this is the sequel to the game 9 Persons, 9 Hours, 9 Doors, which, again, you probably haven't heard of, or at least you haven't played. It's a visual novel for the DS, and man, is it an amazing game. It's one of my favorite games of all time. The story in it is fantastic, and it's really engaging, and it's it works so well as a DS game. It's perfect for telling the story, and I think it's really innovative and unique as well. How it has different endings, and and I love how when you get them all, then it starts to come together and to reveal this huge, brilliant story. So obviously I'm excited for the game's sequel, Virtue's Last Reward, coming out this fall for the 3DS and the PlayStation Vita. Now, this game is promising to have 24 endings compared to the original game 6, compared to 999-6. That's ridiculous, especially if you want to get all of them. Anyway though, but good replay value. It's important in games these days. Now, they're also introducing, it's going to have more full animation, and it will have full English and Japanese voice acting. I'm kind of concerned about the English voice acting though, because chances are it probably won't be that good, but if it is good, that'd be fantastic. But yeah, anyway though, obviously how much I love 999, I'm so excited for Virtue's Last Reward. If you haven't played 999 yet, play it now, so you'll be able to play Virtue's Last Reward coming this fall, because it will probably be as good or even better than 999, which, I don't know, it's just going to be brilliant. Wow, it's going to be great. Okay, so at number 3, I have Tomb Raider. Now, Tomb Raider kind of became a bit of a joke as of late, but man, that's probably all going to change, because from what we've been shown from the new trailer and the gameplay footage, the game looks very, very promising. It looks like it very well could end up being one of the best games of this year, and I personally think it will be. Now, it's still like a lot of the other games on this list. It is changing from the series past formula, which I think is an important thing, because to me, I think it looks better than than the old Tomb Raider games were, that were more like Uncharted. Except, let's just face it, just nowhere near as brilliant as Uncharted. They were just fun adventure games. But Tomb Raider 2012 is becoming a bit of a survival horror adventure, which I think looks really good. I think it's a cool idea. And Lara Croft, they're kind of developing her more as like a three-dimensional character, and she's like, you know, you're gonna see her build. She's like very real this time, and you're gonna see her change as the story goes. Which recently I kind of decided to myself that I don't really, I tend to not enjoy games very much if they don't have like interesting stories and characters. So, you know, I think this game will deliver that almost perfectly. I'm really excited for this game. On a side note, the gameplay looks quite promising as well, like the puzzles and stuff. You know, it looks really good. And at number 2, I have BioShock Infinite. Man, am I excited for this game. Now, from what I've seen, it looks very different than the other BioShock games, which I don't think is a problem, because I actually think that BioShock Infinite looks better, or at least I think it kind of appeals more to me. And yeah, I can also tell this is going to be another game that's going to have a really, really good story. You know, it's probably going to take home the award from everybody for, you know, best story of the year, because, man, like, just the way that they're doing the atmosphere and characters just feels so real and so human. They're setting it, and it's like a period piece. It's being set in this turn of the century America, talking about, you've probably heard of Manifest Destiny, and like, and all that stuff. It's gonna be all very based around that idea of, America being the best, that false idea of America being the greatest country in the world, which I could get kind of in trouble for saying that because I'm a Canadian and stuff. But anyway, though, so it's obviously gonna have a very good story. But I've also seen it. It also does look to have very, like, the gameplay is woven into the story in a very interesting, very natural, very comfortable ways from what I've seen. And the visuals in it are beautiful. They're just beautiful. They're colorful, and the voice work seems very good as well. This game's a long time in the making, but I know it will not disappoint. And at number 1, I have The Last of Us. Oh yes, I am so excited for The Last of Us. I really hope it comes out by the end of 2012. When I was watching the Spike Video Game Awards and this game first got shown, when I saw Naughty Dog appear on that screen, I freaked out like a schoolgirl. And then when I saw the trailer, first thing that came into my mind is, wow, this game looks fantastic. I cannot wait. Like, it's by Naughty Dog, right? It's gonna be amazing. And the setting in it, I think it's like, some people might think, oh, it's just gonna be another zombie game, but this is definitely gonna be more than a zombie game. It's gonna be a zombie game that isn't just like some like cheesy B movie. This is gonna be a zombie game that's like a high quality, A plus movie. I think. I know the production values are gonna like meet or surpass the standards set by Uncharted. Like, just look at the trailer. Graphically, it looks incredible, and this time they're going for more survival horror gameplay, and they're incorporating it with, the Uncharted like shooting, which of course is very good. But yeah, very little is known about this game, but I'm just so excited for it, mainly because it's Naughty Dog, and it seems like they're tackling another very human story that deals with real emotions of what people might be going through during an outbreak. It's not zombies though. It's a fungus that attacks people. But I think this game is just gonna be so brilliant. I just think it's gonna excel in every way more than any other game this year. Yeah. So anyway, that was my top 10 games 2012. I hope you all enjoyed it. It was a bit on the long side, but I got in everything I wanted to talk about. Now, like I said, there were probably a few games you guys are interested in that I missed, but you have your list, I have mine. These are just games that I think that everybody should be playing this year, and that's all, people. See ya.